A 3-point barrage in Pittsburgh for Syracuse men's basketball. The Orange take down the Panthers 83-72 behind double-digit three-pointers. 3 from Tyler Betsy, 3 from J.J. Starling, and 3 from Donnie Freeman. The first time that Syracuse men's basketball has had double-digit three-pointers all season long. And even on a day that was so uniquely special for the Orange offensively, head coach Adrian Autry's focus remains the same. It's all about the defense. Well, there is basketball being played in Syracuse that's been a little bit better. It's actually pretty hard to deny what an incredible year it's been for Syracuse women's basketball. Just over a week ago, they took on now-ranked UNC to overtime, and Sunday, the Orange made a trip to the Sunshine State for another conference clash against the Hurricanes, trying to build another little win streak after they lost that game against the Tar Heels in overtime. And the pressure's on, really. Syracuse has been playing great basketball, though. They had that triple overtime win against Cal, and one of the reasons why has been what Uche Azoje has done. She's been ACC Rookie of the Week more than anyone else in the conference. Unbelievable stuff from her, and the Orange scored the first 8 points of this game. Miami finally responds with a 3 from Kimson, but then on the other end, Layla Felia doing what she does and responding herself. 12-9, a low-scoring ball game at the end of the first quarter into the second quarter, and Kimson, who had a great game trying to keep Miami in this one, makes it a 2-point affair again. But as we get close to halftime, Dominique Darius fires back. Orange lead by 6. We'll go to the fourth quarter, and Sophie Burrows has really turned her season around. You got to give her a lot of credit. Now, 5 of her last 6 games with double-digit points. First 7 games of the year, she only had 1 game above 10, and it was 11. Now she's got 21 4 times in the last month. She has found her shot. You got to give the junior a lot of credit for what she has done, sticking to it. She was out of the starting lineup at one point, and now she's turned back into that 3-point shooter that Felicia Leggett-Jack really needed her to be. Anyway, this game down the stretch, getting close. A couple of layups to the basket, but Syracuse comes away with a 65-60 win. Another hugely impressive win against solid ACC competition. Mark Risch gets us started. Syracuse wins the tip. And we are underway, the first game from the JMA Wireless Dome in 2026. Thrilled to do it alongside you, Tommy. And Sherney Thompson, who's getting the start, immediately fires one left and misses. Syracuse collects the loose change. Darius comes back in with it. Layla Felia, leading scorer for this team, drives in and hits immediately. And you see the Florida State lineup, which is as advertised, really, most of the season. Panya Davis comes over from the JUCO ranks in New Mexico, and my goodness, she's made a quick impact. Started in every game this season for the Seminoles. Yeah, and it's a similar DNA, as you said, for Florida State in this starting lineup. A little bit different for Syracuse. Used to seeing the captain, Sophie Burrows, out there. A shakeup in the starting lineup, so a bit of different 5 for the Orange. Yeah, the rest of that Syracuse starting 5. Sophie Burrows has started in all 13 games this season. Not tonight. She's replaced by Sherney Thompson. Burrows has been struggling to shoot the three-pointer this season. That's really been the main draw in her 2 prior seasons at Syracuse, and Darius cuts to the rim through contact. She wants the foul, won't get it, but she does get the bucket. Syracuse out to a 4-0 lead. There is Davis, and a handoff on the inside. A foul against Soleil Williams, the leading scorer for the Seminoles, shooting almost 40% from the floor. You really have to watch out for this team's three-point shooting, though. Ranks around the middle of the ACC right now, but 32%. And when you look at what Shavers has done in particular, a 42% three-point shooter this season. Yeah, from top to bottom, there's real threats from behind the arc for this team. You can't really leave any space. And Syracuse so far has done a really good job at defending the 3. They love to apply high pressure on top of the arc, but that's going to be the big test for the Orange today. Soleil Williams, like we mentioned, not one of 3 returners on this team. 7 of the 10 players are new. She's one of them. Came over from Texas A&M, but she does have some familiarity with Mary Gurton, the only rookie on the roster, as Darius continues to get the scoring started for Syracuse. Now, they played high school ball together at Princeton High School in Cincinnati. Williams has it back down the other side, so Syracuse a hot start offensively, and somewhat similar to what they did against Duke. Foul on the loose ball, it's going Syracuse's way, so they'll keep it, but The Orange matched the Blue Devils on Sunday, stride for stride, 14-14 after that first quarter, but then the second quarter, only 8 points. Duke's defense started to overwhelm them a little bit, and the Blue Devils really couldn't be stopped in the second half.
And that's what the Syracuse team does. They don't miss a beat. They come out of the gate with a lot of energy, and Florida State, with that extended break, it's going to be, can they match that type of tempo that Syracuse has, and right now it's all orange.
Uche as Zoje loses the handle. Shavers comes away with it. She cuts inside. That's not where she's the biggest threat. Of course, outside the arc, where she fires from now, no good. And Zoje has the board. The ACC Rookie of the Week last week. Nigerian, and Darius charges down the lane, gets fouled this time. She wanted the foul on that first shot, and she drove to the cup on.
Dominique Darius doing exactly what her game is, driving head down towards the rim, able to pick up some contact, and oftentimes able to put those ones in. That one just rims out.
What an addition Dominique Darius has been for Syracuse this season. 3 years at UCLA, and she only averaged about 5 points in those years, and then 2 seasons ago at USC, only 2 points a game, and then took a year off. Now she's back with the Orange, and I mean, she has really blossomed into a different type of scorer this season.
Yeah, with the talent you see her putting on display at Syracuse, you kind of question why she didn't get the minutes at those other schools. Some big-time schools at that on the West Coast, but she's coming in and making her impact felt right away.
I mean, look at what Syracuse was doing 2 seasons ago when she was at USC. And they were a competitive team, like we mentioned, in the tournament. She certainly could have been a helpful piece, no question about it. Turnover from the Orange, that defense showcasing early. Darius again, bounce pass, Shy Hawkins feeds off, and a nice little 1-2-3 pass inside to get Zoje involved.
And that is just textbook. Dominique Darius leading the charge, where she's so dangerous in transition. And then Syracuse as a team doing some fantastic stuff on the break, and there they are on the defensive side too.
What a start for Dominique Darius. Led the team in scoring against the Blue Devils.
Today's game is just underway. Back to first quarter action of Syracuse football on WAER.
A stop for SU's defense on the first drive of the game, and now we get a chance to see SU's offense. And Ryan, the story really today is all about that offensive line. There are a ton of new pieces. Joe Cruz, the redshirt junior, he's going to be playing center for the first time ever in college today.
Yeah, that's a little bit worrisome for Syracuse with Ricky Collins back in. You also have 2 freshmen on the left side of the line for Syracuse, and Cam Pringle and Byron Washington. So a very youthful and inexperienced offensive line today for Syracuse.
Byron Washington, the freshman from DeSoto, Texas. Cam Pringle, the redshirt freshman transfer from South Carolina. Collins comes out with 3 in the backfield and then splits the look as he has all season. Will Nixon in the shotgun alongside him to the right. He takes the snap, hands off to Nixon, who bounces his way through a sea of tacklers and gains about 4 yards before he's strung down by those Miami linebackers. A couple of big names questionable for this game. Wesley B. Saint, one of them. Trying to get a look early, does not look like he's on the field.
Yeah, and he's been crucial for Miami this season. Second on Miami last year in total tackles as well with 59.
The matchup to watch really though, Cam Pringle, who's on that right side against Ruben Bain Jr. Collins gets the shotgun snap, rolls out to his right, searching for bodies downfield, pump fakes, and then flings it out of bounds. They called it a gain of 2 on that first play, so 3rd and 8 upcoming from the 22-yard line in Syracuse territory.
And Syracuse this season, Luke, just been god-awful on 3rd down. 34%, 113th in the country.
They have been 40% in the first quarter, though. The best of any quarter, still not too good. And now 3rd and long upcoming. Collins comes out with a shotgun set, split receiver look. He gets the snap, hands off to Nixon, bounces through the first level, gets up to the 30-yard line, dives forward, and he got the first down. A gain of 9 for Will Nixon before he was finally knocked down at the 31-yard line is where they'll spot the ball. Will Nixon getting a couple more looks. He's been the number 2 back this season, even though on the depth chart he's listed as the number 1 alongside Yasin Willis. And now 72 carries on the season for him, just over 275 yards. And now Yasin Willis onto the field for the first time. Bunch set to either side, including Travion Mack, who's lined up as a receiver. He gets the snap, hands off to Willis, and he bounces forward for about 1 or 2 yards before he's engulfed by 3 Miami orange jerseys. Tackle initiated by Raul Aguirre Jr.
And we're talking about a Miami defense, Luke, that's top 10 in the country this season. They're 3rd in the nation in rush defense.
5 minutes gone in the first quarter, no score here. 2nd and 8, ball at the 33-yard line. 2 receivers line up to the far side. That's Jonte Cook alongside Jalen Hornsby. Shotgun look. Collins gets the ball. Fakes the handoff, flips it out to Dan Villari in the flat, races forward, gets the first down, dives past the 40-yard line and out of bounds. So the Orange moving the ball efficiently here. The first few plays of the game. Is there a chance they might mark him short? No, well, the scoreboard said 3rd and short, but now they give him the first down and place the ball at the 41.
And Villari continuing to have a fantastic season. Luke, 12th among tight ends nationally in catches this year.
Easily the most catches he's had as a member of the Orange in his redshirt senior season. Shotgun look for the Orange now. Willis off to the left of Collins. He gets the ball. Hands off to Willis, and he moves up to the line of scrimmage. Quickly gets wrapped up and dragged down. Maybe a gain of 1. Tried to cut it to the outside, where that freshman, Byron Washington, was trying to block a hole for him. So far, the snaps have looked clean, though, from Joe Cruz. There was an issue with that when Syracuse played Pitt and Josh Miller came in. Ricky Collins got a couple of bad snaps. Right now, they've got Demetrius Weatherspoon lined up at left guard. Shotgun look here on 2nd and 9. Collins gets the shotgun snap, hands off Willis, charges right up the middle, and he is stymied before he can go anywhere. Mohamed Toure, who's up over 40 tackles this season, drags him to the turf, and they'll call it 3rd and 9.
Toure, called Mo the Menace, but came with Corey Hetherman, the new defensive coordinator, originally from Rutgers to Miami.
They give him a couple extra yards on that one, mark it officially at 3rd and 7. Will Nixon back onto the field. Syracuse has already converted once on 3rd and long. Shotgun look for the Orange, trips receivers to the far side. It's getting loud in here. Collins trying to draw that Miami defensive front, one of the best in the country, offside. Now he gets the ball. He's back to pass on 3rd down. Scans to the left side, fires way behind Jalen Hornsby. Incomplete as it trickles toward the sideline. And although Syracuse's offense garners 2 first downs on its first drive, Jack Stonehouse is out onto the field, which has been a familiar refrain for Syracuse's offense over the past few weeks.
And Stonehouse has done fantastic, Luke, but I want to talk about Syracuse's receivers that drive. Really nowhere to be found, and Fran Brown talked this week about how he thinks, especially with the experience, these guys need to get open more and help out their quarterback a bit more.
The opening drive yields a punt for Syracuse for the 2nd consecutive week. Stonehouse gets the ball, sends a high floating punt through the air. It's spinning toward the 10-yard line, and it drops at the 1, and it's down at the 2. A phenomenal punt from the 4th highest graded punter in all of college football. And Syracuse's defense is going to get some great positioning to start Miami's 2nd drive on offense. So both teams yield nothing on offense the first go through. And we're scoreless with 7:17 to go in the first quarter. You're listening to Syracuse football on the original home of the Orange, WAER.